Hey guys, Underground Geek here. And so I got this new issue of Detective Comics and I just had to do a review on it. First of all, because I love this cover. I've always loved this suit. I used to have this issue, Batman 500, and I may try to get it again. You know, I talked about it in other videos. My comic collection was sold or stolen or whatever, it's just gone. And so I had the issue when the suit was first introduced. And when I was younger, I had no idea who John Paul was. You know, I picked up the comics, read them, and I was like, well, I guess this blonde-headed guy is Batman now. Okay, whatever. So that's where the introduction comes to the suit. So as we open the comic here, by the way, I don't know if you're watching Rick and Morty, but this season's the first season that I've ever watched, and it's stinking awesome. I never would have thought that by seeing the cartoon style. I thought, this is crap, but it's actually pretty good. So we have this new finale coming, Intelligence Finale Judgment Day. And John Paul is kind of fighting with another person here mentally. And I guess this is like another personality, brother. I'm not really sure where this came in, but he's arguing with that person over morals. And then all of a sudden this big figure of Batman comes in. And then we have these demon versions of Azrael that's going to fight with him. And I just think it was a really cool scene because these are scary as crap. And then you have this huge, like, Batman Beyond style demon scarecrow image here. And then as Azrael is waking up, or John Paul is waking up, he's talking to the members of the team here, and they're asking him if he's okay, and he says, you aren't asking if I'm okay, you're asking, can I fight? And the answer is, yes, Lucas, I can fight. And he's talking to Batwing, that's Lucas, by the way. So we get this cool image here. Alright, so as we go to the next scene here, we get a cool scene of the main antagonist here. It's like an AI system, and he's attacking these little creatures that they're trying to protect. And so he goes to hacking on them, and he's slicing up in little bits, and it turns out they're actually Clayface, which Clayface is on the team now. If you haven't been reading Detective Comics, they kind of recruited him because he's not really bad at this moment. We get this cool scene right here. He's kind of lugging this arm around, these two arms made into big spike hammers, and he's smacking this robot upside the head and causing a little bit of damage here. And then the robot quickly gets overhand though, and he's just had enough, so he fires his big cannon. At that moment, we cut to the next scene where we've got all these AI-controlled Batwing suits that have gone crazy, and Batman and Zatanna is going to fight them using magic. And so she goes to town on them. And that's when the robot guy here notices what's happening. And so then I think that they have some more attacks going on. She completely decimates this one right here, and they're kind of flirting back and forth. And then we have to have this one comment. Batwoman's like, I want to marry her. And the other way he's like, yes, you know, because everybody has to be lesbians. And they don't really understand what's happening, but they're trying to fight off all the creatures, and the robot doesn't know what's happening because they're attacking and stopping his plan. And then that's when we get this shadowy figure come out, and he starts talking to the robot in a nice little speech. You cling to your blind faith with no understanding of what it means to believe. You seek assurance. You seek absolute truth. You mistake this for godliness, but there is nothing godly in what you have been sent here to do. And he's like, wow, what have you become? And then that's when we get this cool shot of the suit. He says, your downfall. So we get this cool shot of the suit, and then they start fighting. And so then we cut to the next part here, and they're going back and forth. An awesome fight scene. He's got this huge sword that he can wield. So Azrael's, or John Paul's holding his own because they're fighting. He throws a big bell at him, smacks him upside the head. We've brought back the sound effects. I like this. They brought that back. So we get more into a fighting scene here. They're smashing back and forth. He's kind of cracking his visor and all that kind of thing. And this is what kind of gets on my nerves when they overuse classic scenes later on in comics, like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. And right here's what I'm talking about. He does the backbreaker move on him, you know, just like Bane did to Batman, and then he did to Bane, and, you know, back and forth over and over and over. It's like, okay, it's been done. We're tired of it. And so he's standing over him, and that's when his little pal's trying to tell him who this guy is, and he cuts him, mortally wounds him. And so that causes John Paul to go into a rage, and he starts really tearing into him at this point. And that's when the little guy tells him that Jean Paul's father actually designed this robot along with him. They've kind of like programmed John Paul, more or less. And that's when he kind of breaks free of everything and realizes how bleak the situation is. I'm trying to get this to change back and forth. It's hard to do this with 4K. She says, "What is he doing?" And he's getting control of himself, you know. And right here we get this cool 2-page scene here of the Dark Knights. That's going to be so cool when that comes out. I ordered every one of the issue 1s, by the way. Every one of them. There's like 10 of them. I ordered all of them. So we get more cool fight scenes. He's really going to town on him, smacking him around, punching him. Batwing here is trying to get everything in control. He's got his AI suit with him, the old school AI suit from New 52. He tells him he has to smash it through his chest so that he can get rid of his AI system. And that's when he lets him know that he's actually gotten into everything, kind of gotten in all the machinery in Gotham using this power that he has. And it's a pretty cool suit. I like the originality of the suit. He's got a little bit of oversized head and all this kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. And that's when Zatanna pulls out her trump card that's like an all-knowing sphere and gives it to him. And that's when he realizes the error of his ways. We got a cool scene right here. What's going on with magic? And he's like, oh, hey. Clayface is pretty cool. I like him. And this is kind of a weird scene because, you know, you think it's going to be very dramatic. He says, oh my God, I see your love. And it's like, oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something else, but okay. Jean Paul, brother, I am sorry I did not understand. Because, you know, he's technically his brother because he was programmed too. And that's where you kind of see where he's coming from. That's his true self. And so now he's going to use the sphere to go around and kind of see his world and change his ways and all that good stuff. Kind of go on a spirit walk there. You get some cool covers from Jack Kirby. And I was going to do a review on New Gods, but I just can't get into that comic. I've never really been a fan of New Gods. I don't know what it is. I guess I don't like the little thing that he flies around on, and I don't like the little ogre-looking guy. It just don't do it for me. I mean, you can't like everything. You know, that's just the way it goes. So he's leaving there. He tells him bye, but before he leaves, he tells Batman something very important at this point. It's kind of like a big deal. He says, he is alive. Timothy Drake is alive. And he says, no, wait, come back. And that's when he kind of vaporizes out of there. But at this point now, Batman knows that Tim Drake is not dead. And as if you've been reading, he was kept in some kind of like interdimensional prison. And we get a cool shot of the suit there, claws he's got and everything. So now at this point, they're wrapping everything up. They're talking to Azrael or John Paul, and he's been through some stuff. What's cool is Batwing's going to be updating his suit before long, so we're going to get a cool new suit. Batwing, not Batman. I don't know which one I said. But he still has the AI system in his mind. And what's funny is they uploaded a Batman AI system into John Paul's brain. So it's kind of like he's got some of Batman's urges as far as wanting to save the city and things like that, but he also got his rage. And it's funny because, you know, then he can kind of realize all Batman's flaws. So there we see his friend's grave that got wounded, and they're talking everything over, and it talks about, you know, this is only the beginning. Of course, that's kind of talking about the whole Watchmen series, the Man in the Cloak and all that kind of stuff, but it's also talking about Dark Knights that's coming. So then we're transported to the Swiss Alps, where the guy that's been running the whole Azrael program and stuff is hanging out, and Ra's al Ghul shows up because Ra's al Ghul has been involved in everything in Batman ever, and he is always around ever. It's just like, pick somebody else. But anyway, he talks about how you're in our group and all that kind of stuff. It's time for you to meet the benefactor. And I really think the benefactor is going to be that man in the cloak that's been traveling around. I think he's got a chain or a scythe or something like that. And he's the one that held Timothy Drake captive. I think it's him. It's his next issue, Utopia. I don't know what that's all about. But then they're kind of talking more about Dark Knight's Metal, and I cannot wait till this comes out, by the way. Like I said, I ordered all the number ones. But that's pretty much it. It's a good issue. Love the cover. I mean, a lot of stuff got done. We had cool fight scenes. I mean, it's just, how could you not like that art? I mean, look at it. It's awesome. But anyway, yep, that was my review, and I give it an 8 out of 10. It's 962 is the issue, and you really can't beat it. I mean, it's good, solid story, good, solid art. It's awesome. All right, guys, so let me know what you think. Hit the like, hit the notifications button, and make sure you give me a like so I can keep doing these videos. Here lately I haven't seen that many comments or anything, so make sure you comment on there and let me know what you like or don't like so I can keep the channel going and make it better. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.